How's it going, Steve?
It's good, thank you. Very good.
Thank you for coming here today.
You're very welcome. I line biked her.
Did you?
The line bike didn't work. You know when you're on a line bike? Well, I said it didn't work. It worked as a bike, but it didn't work didn't have the motor.
Oh.
So I was just like, this is hard.
So you had to pay for it still?
Pay for it, yeah. And then the motor was just like really not a lot. And I was just like cycling on flat, like really flat. But I was just cycling on going, oh, this is harder than normal. Then I realized the motor wasn't working. And then it occurred to me, oh, this is just cycling, isn't it?
This is just the bike. Yeah.
I just can't cycle.
It's so funny when that happens because I cycle all the time. I use a lot of the e-bikes.
Yeah.
Once you go e-bike, going back to real cycling is like, I imagine this is what it's like when you get a vibrator. Like you can't go back to manual. Like this is fucking hard labor. This is a laborious job. I always feel like when that happens all the time because I use the Santander bikes, and so whenever I have to get
they're heavy though as well. They're not normal bikes.
Yeah, they're heavy. Yeah.
Line bikes are heavy because they've got the motor. So you're carrying this motor that's doing nothing.
Yeah.
It's absolutely not. Anyway, so that was my journey here.
Oh, brutal.
Across the common.
Beautiful cycle though.
Sweating. Yeah.
I saw this guy. He fell off his line bike.
Funny.
Actually, I watched it from my window like a creep. So I heard this big bang. And then this girl's like, "Are you all right?" And then he was with his friends. And he was like, "Yeah. Are you all right, dude?"
Oh my God.
And I'm like, all your stuff is on the ground. You're like, you literally just like face planted over your fucking handlebars, and you're still trying to get this girl to impress your friends.
That is crazy level of confidence.
I'm like, what is this? I think being over here, British, I thought British guys were like this timid kind of, like, oh.
Bumbly Hugh Grant guys.
Like, oh no, I mustn't ask her out. Like,
oh no.
I couldn't possibly do that. Yeah, that kind of.
Yeah.
And then London is.
Yeah, they're like.
Is a confidence that shouldn't be allowed in men.
Yeah, it's stopping the traffic.
Yeah,
line bike on the floor.
Yeah, like and girl really just trying to help, and then they're like, I'm like, how are you making her uncomfortable when she's trying to help you?
Yeah, you're bleeding.
Yeah, literally.
You're bleeding from the knee, and she's a nurse trying to help you.
Yeah, oh my God.
Oh my God, that's really bad. What my first thought was how lovely it would be if they did meet though.
Yeah, I know.
Like if he wasn't a dickhead and it was like a nice meet cute.
That would be a nice meet cute.
How did you and Grandma and Granddad meet? Well, he crashed the line, but
yeah, that would be. I did meet someone, a couple that met because he hit his head trying to impress people or something like that, and it was like bleeding, and she like went to help him.
That's such a man story. Yeah. He hit his head trying to impress somebody.
And then that's how they met, like years ago. I'm like, fuck, okay, so I just need to get a guy with a bleeding head.
Yeah, you need to walk around the area just looking for who's in pain.
Yeah.
Who's struggling.
I should have gone out to the line bike guy. Like, I'm all right.
Get out of the way. Or you kick people off line bikes and you go, oh, you've crashed.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And you're like, oh, I'll help you.
Oh, that's a really good idea.
Yeah.
I'll try that for next.
Just on the side, though, kicking them off. I always thought a really good meet cute would be in an Uber pool.
Ah.
I think there's something inherently romantic about, like, they're not around so much anymore, but when you used to get Uber pools.
Yeah, they still have them in New York.
The stranger would get in next to you, and like, you'd kind of just have like 10 minutes of having to make conversation.
Yeah.
I just thought, what a beautiful place to meet someone that would be.
Yeah, but then also it's tough because then they know where you live.
Yeah.
So if it doesn't go well, then they're like,
Yeah, well, also, but you would sort of live in roughly the same
right area.
So that's good for just
that would be good.
But then you'd have that moment at the end of the Uber because you wouldn't have each other's number or anything, and then they'd get out, and you'd be like, oh my God, I'm never going to see that girl ever again.
Yeah.
This is based on a true story. This happened to me, and I never saw her again.
Oh. You're like, I think this would be a really, really great meet cute. It's something that already happened to me.
It happened once. I got an Uber before, and I was just like, oh my God, I think I'm in love. And then she left, and it was really near where I lived. And I was like, well, I'll see her again. Never saw her again.
Never saw her.
And I was just getting Uber pools every single day.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Just in the same area.
Same place, every single time.
And this girl's like, I'm never going to Uber pool again.
I met a lot of weird guys. A lot of weird, creepy guys.
Wait, that's so cool.
But I just think it's because you don't meeting strangers is hard, isn't it? Like you don't actually meet strangers very often. And that's like a very intimate place to meet a stranger. Now I know Uber pool now probably isn't around because of probably safety issues.
Well, I don't know because it's still around in New York, so I feel like
Yeah.
logistically it is a good
I
service.
thought it was great.
I think it is a good
It
service.
was like great use of technology.
Yeah.
It was like rare where Uber were like doing something good.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So
I never saw her again.
so. What's your relationship status now? You are.
I have a very happy relationship with my girlfriend.
And where did you meet?
We met on Bumble, a different
Bumble.
not Uber, a different app. Yeah, we met on Bumble. That's the only dating app I did.
Really?
I was a bit scared by all the others.
You were scared by Hinge?
Hinge really scared me.
Why?
Because it just seemed a lot of admin and a lot of like very serious, like we're here to find our life partners kind of energy. And I wasn't really in that headspace at the time.
Okay.
I wasn't in like, I just want to chat, but I was like, I just was a bit scared by the kind of seriousness of it.
Right.
Whereas
and if it happens, it happens
yeah,
kind of
Bumble
thing.
was a bit more of a happy medium of like, also, I'm scared of starting conversations. So Bumble forces the female to start the conversation. So
yeah. Because I was quite scared of Bumble as like, I find it quite confusing as I don't know. I find Bumble and Tinder, like, I'm like, am I too old to understand? Because I feel like on Tinder, I'm like, I want to look at more pictures, but then it like, when I click, it like will go to super like, and I'm like, I don't know this guy. I don't know him, but I want to see more.
Oh God.
So it just stresses me out. Whereas Hinge is like, I feel like that's the only. I mean, it was the first one I had.
Everyone's on it. I think I was a bit stubborn as well. I was in that mindset of, because I feel as in jobs, like we meet a lot of people relatively to the average person.
And doing stand up.
Doing stand up. So like I've always been like, when I was single, I sort of had a big single phase where I was like, I'm gonna do that, try and be single.
You were actively trying to be single, like you weren't trying to pursue.
For a few years, yeah. I went for a big breakup, and then I was like, right, I need to try and be single.
Okay.
And I was so bad at it. Like I was trying to be, do the whole like dating casual stuff, and it just didn't suit me. Like, and it took me so long to realize it didn't suit me.
Okay.
You know?
At what point were you like, this isn't for me, and why wasn't it for you?
So the key reasons why I would fall in love too quickly. I wasn't able to do the casual. I thought I was, and then I'm like, oh, I've texted her 5 times today. That's not casual, like I couldn't. So I wasn't really good at that.
Okay.
And I think it's just messy. And as soon as you sleep with someone, it does become messy.
Right.
You can trick yourself into thinking it doesn't, but it does.
Yeah,
it took me a while to work
I
out.
agree with that. I think that I don't think I've ever really been with anyone who's liked me more than I've liked them. And if they have, yeah,
I'm sure you have.
There's one guy that liked me a lot, but I did not like him, nor did I want anything. I just and I had to say,
so you shouldn't like him.
No more of this, because nothing has happened. Nothing. We are just friends. So that was the only time where someone was like messaging me like a lot. Where most of the other guys, I'm like, hello.
Right.
Hi.
Yeah, you love the chase.
Me.
You want the chase. You want what you can't have.
Yes, I think that's what happens.
I think everyone's like that, mate. We all want what it's way more attractive. Like it's so much more attractive if someone's like, I'm not interested. If someone's like, I really like you and I want to sort of get to know you, like, okay, that's weird. I don't trust what you're bringing. There
is something there, but I do feel like it's you have to get over it. And I feel like I feel like I date, like I'm like, because I haven't had much experience, I date like, my dating age is quite young. Like I date like I'm like 15. Like I'm like,
okay.
I'm like, oh, do you like me? Like,
your behavior.
My behavior.
I'm dating 15-year-olds.
God, and they have so much game now.
I have had to learn that lesson. Like my girlfriend she's so loving and so kind, and at first it was a bit like that's weird. That you're so nice to me. Like I find that weird. Not that I want to be treated like shit, but I was just a bit like it's almost too it's a bit off-putting at first, and then you have to go, no, that's what you want. That is the best thing in the world.
Yeah.
I had to like train myself.
So at what moment were you like, okay, I know this girl's the one?
Well, I don't think it was one moment. It was like a slow. I was resistant because I'm very, I would say, quite avoidant.
Okay.
And I wasn't resisting, but I was very much like, yeah, let's see how it goes, you know. But in my head, I'm like, oh, she's amazing. This is great.
Yeah.
You know, but we went traveling for a bit, so that kind of delayed it a bit. So there was lots of reasons that not going all in immediately was the easier option.
And so while she was traveling, were you guys still talking a lot? Or
Yeah. And then when she came back, we was like, all right, yeah, that's done.
God, I travel a lot. I feel like it's hard to find somebody who's like, go over there, have fun.
Yeah, I mean, we've been dating for like maybe 8-9 months when she went traveling, and then we've been like exclusive for like 6 of those. I can't remember, but 5 or 6 of those months, and then she went traveling for 7 months, and I guess we just sort of thought that, well, if it's meant to be, then when she comes back, we'll know when it'll be quite obvious when she comes back whether we want to be together.
Oh,
and it was like within like a few months of her being away, I was like, oh yeah, I really miss her.
Oh wow.
And I think she felt the same. Well, I think I don't know.
Wow.
But the thing you said about guys liking you too much, and then you'd be like, we're just friends. I was feeling cringe in that because I've definitely been that guy. Like, I've been the guy in that kind of single phase. I remember there was a girl who I really had such a big crush on. It was unhealthy. And she lived up north, and I just would go for like what I thought were dates, but I don't think she saw them as dates. And we just got on so well. And I was like, this is clearly we're meant to be together. But she's obviously going, yeah, we're just good friends. And then when this is how little I took the hint. We were literally doing an activity date thing, and a couple came up to us and were like, oh, how long have you two been together? And she went, oh, we're not, we're just friends. And she was so adamant about it to this couple. And I genuinely thought, she is playing so hard to get. She is being a real tease here.
And how old were you?
Oh, that was like 3 years ago. That was recent. I was over 30 when that happened.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, I mean, we were hanging out, just me and her, so it definitely had a date vibe.
Sometimes I think it's confusing because I do feel like sometimes, you know, I have been in a position where I could have made things clearer. Like with that guy, I feel like I knew he liked me a lot, but I didn't feel the same, but I felt bad. So I do think I loved, because he told me he liked me a lot, and I said, that's nice. And then I felt bad.
That's nice, mate.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Good stuff, buddy.
But then I felt bad. So I was like, fuck, that's rude. So I was like, I like you too.
Oh, okay. So that is leading him on.
And then I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
And then I was like, we're such good friends.
Okay.
And then I was like, fuck. It's
tough, isn't it? It is tough.
I find rejecting people the hardest thing about dating. Like, I feel like the idea of having to, like, I'm so much more comfortable with somebody rejecting me and then me taking a year to get over it than...
And it ruining my life for you.
Yeah, and it absolutely ruined me. Like, I met a guy on holiday in February.
This year?
February this year. I've only just got over it.
Oh, my God.
Only recently I'm like, God, I don't miss him anymore.
Aww.
I know. And I'm like, he's not thought of me once. He's not thought of me once. I've been on a few Hinge dates, and when it doesn't go well. And
it always doesn't go well.
Always doesn't go well. The saying no is very hard for me. I just ghost.
Well, after you ghost. Look, the thing about ghosting is, it is obviously bad practice, and I think ideally you would text and go, it's not for me.
I think so.
Whatever. But I also think ghosting is like better than keep texting. You know, out of politeness.
Yeah.
At least it's like clear. It's like, all right, that's done.
Yeah. And I think the one guy was like 5. You know what I hate? I hate when like 5 messages, and I was like, it was too much. But I hate when you meet a Hinge date and then they ask for your social media.
Oh.
And then it's like, now we're too connected. I like.
Yeah, because they're on there permanently.
Yeah, because then it's like I want the anonymity of like just meeting somebody and then not having them to be able to look at all my stuff.
But doesn't a bit of you want them to see that you're doing quite well on social media?
No.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't want them to see that I have this podcast.
You don't want them to see that you're going to talk about them the very next day on a podcast.
I really don't want
This
them
is
to
what
see.
this is supposed to be the problem that Dolly Alderton had with her blog when she was writing about dates. She's like, I can't let them know that I'm going to write about this night. Yeah, that's stressful.
You know?
Rejecting people is, I mean, it's not something I've had to do that often. I think it's normally quite it's normally a mutual decision, I would say,
Okay.
or their decision.
Okay.
largely theirs. But I think when I've received rejection, it is better just to get it really clear. You know, like it's brutal. Like, in fact, that girl I was talking about, that she just sent it eventually was just like, I just see you as a friend.
Okay.
And I was just like, oh, thank God.
Oh, you were like, thank God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Obviously, I was gutted, but I was just like, oh my God, thank God. I don't have to keep thinking, oh, what does this message mean?
Yeah.
What does she mean by this silence for a week? What does that mean?
This is the thing, because I think you start putting ideas in your head, and like having someone say it straight up is quite valuable, because then you're like, oh, I can't see it the other way.
Yeah.
Like,
and you twist it. You're always like,
yeah.
well, it means this, obviously.
Yeah. Oh, a week's not that bad. No contact. Like with that guy in Australia, I was like, oh, the time zone. And then 48 hours would pass. I'd be like, how much is this time difference? I was.
There's still nighttime in Australia. It's been nighttime the whole. He's asleep. They sleep through the whole of that 48 hours.
It would be like I'm like, okay, he's at work now, so couldn't possibly text, and then he must have gone to the gym or something, and then you can't really text at the gym, and now he's asleep. So now wait another 8 hours.
And he's been doing that for the whole month of March. It's a grueling schedule for the guy.
Oh yeah, it's brutal.
Yeah, that is. It's a tough part of dating, I think, and it's the apps that have created this. Like, because we just meet so many people now. Like, I feel like our parents' generation.
Yeah.
If they had any comprehension of how many options there are for us.
Yeah.
Like, I don't mean like everyone's an option, but just like in theory you can meet so many more people. Whereas they were like, our parents' generation were basically like, they met someone at work and they were like, yeah, probably. That would do. And they're like 25 and they got married. And that just...
Then they got divorced.
Then they got divorced at 40. And that is nice. That's a nice story. They had 2 kids. They left them at 7. You know, it's a nice... One becomes a comedian. It's a lovely, wholesome story.
That's like me, but I was 0.
0.
I was 0 when my father left my mom.
That's a young age.
Yeah, I was in her womb.
Oh, okay.
And so I think...
that's not personal then.
It felt... well, the thing is... It felt like that whole 9-month period where I was brewing. I also hated men, and so I think that from a young age I was like, I just came out like, I don't need no man. Like, we're fine with this together, Mom. Yeah, just you, me, and my older sister.
That's wow. Yeah, you've really been brought up to be.
I think, and not like my mom like ever vocalized any anger toward men specifically, but I feel like I was like, oh, I must become a raging feminist.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if your dad isn't on the scene from 0, that's going to create some natural animosity towards men.
Yeah.
I was brought up by, my dad left when I was like 7, but like I saw him, but like not that much. And so I was brought up by my mum, so I watched my mum like be single in my like formative years. Like, she was like doing the dating. So I watched her go on these she'd go to things called like solo balls, which I think are mad names for that. And it was like big parties.
Oh, wow.
For people in their 40s who were single. And she'd go to these balls and like, I guess with her friends, like she had girl mates.
Is this in London?
It was all over the country. And she'd go like quite far to do them. And she'd meet people. But the problem was they were like national events, so the men would always live really far away. Oh. And I was always like, Mum, it's always the same problem. She's like, this guy, I've met him, he lives in Lancaster. I'm like, well, that's not going to work, is it?
So did you think did you think you got better at dating advice? Or were you...
I think it led me to think that you have to like search for someone perfect. You know? Like I didn't learn that relationships aren't perfect. Inherently they're not perfect, and you have to kind of make it work. That's what a good relationship is. You have to like just accept each other's flaws and grow together. I had a very much mindset of like, no, you keep looking, and finding until you find the absolute perfect thing, there's never anything wrong. And that's obviously incorrect.
And so that's what you, okay, because I think that I have that a little bit. I have that idea that like, but then I also don't know, at what point do I, not settle, but at what point do I'm like, I guess if he doesn't believe in monogamy, is it that bad?
I guess I can tolerate some cheating.
I guess it's the modern age.
I'm so jealous of people who had like stable parental relationships to watch.
Oh, for sure.
And I know loads of people have like parents who actually hated each other, and that's almost worse than having a single parent. Like
it is hard because I do feel like you know, to some degree, not having my father growing up like actively in my life, I have created I have a blank canvas.
Yeah.
And it's better than having someone that were like, you know, like the women who like try to find someone like their father or like feel like really damaged. And I'm
got nothing to base it on.
Yeah, really nothing.
You'll go on dates going, maybe he's like my dad.
Yeah.
My mum would like go on, and she, you know, she was, when she was in her heyday, like she had a few single girl mates who were like very, like we hate men vibe.
Okay.
Like before it was cool, you know, like before it was like the norm. This was like the early noughties. And so she had one friend, I'll change her name, called Janet, who really hated. Like, she was just so, and I think she's still single to this day, and she's probably the happiest woman I've ever met. Like she just doesn't care. She obviously would date, but she was just like, oh, they're all idiots. They're all idiots. And I'm just watching that as a young boy, going, all men are idiots. Yeah, we're all morons. And as a result, my mum sort of became, I guess, she treated men at some points as quite throwaway. You know, like they were not like she was getting through loads, but you know, she got a lot of attention, I would say. So she like 2 or 3 on the go.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and they were like coming around. It was like, I felt like it was a Mamma Mia. You know, I was like,
wow,
which one? And I was just sort of looking for a stepdad. You know, but we had very different motivations. In her dating, you know, I was looking for someone to take me to the football, and she was looking. I don't know what she was looking for, but
wow,
yeah. So I don't know what I learned from that process, but I don't think it was good for my development overall.
Yeah,
but it was different.
Yeah,
you know? And I think it's
really cool to be exposed to stuff like that because I don't really remember my mom dating much. Like,
right? Oh no, I remember like there was maybe 5 key ones over my as I grew up.
Oh yeah,
like they'd last like a year and a half. Like weren't, you know, and then there'd be a break, and then there'd be another one, and they were like always nice guys.
Yeah.
They all had like their own flaws, you know, and I think I sort of learned from. I did learn from that like what's good about certain men.
Okay.
You know, like there was the more laddie one. Who was like really sporty and was a bit like cheeky chappy. Did
you know when the guy wasn't gonna last, or did you know like?
Yeah, normally because I was instrumental in ending it, you know, because my mum was so like she was the best mum, and I would be like, oh, I don't like him anymore, you know, and I would just and that would sow the seed of doubt, you know.
Right.
That I mean, I wasn't completely in control, but I would say I had a role in ending some.
Okay.
And also, I was just 9 or 10. You know?
Yeah.
Like, imagine a guy coming in and meeting this fucking annoying 10-year-old.
Yeah.
Who's like, you know, refusing to be nice to him.
It would be.
There was a bit of that. But then there was some. I remember one guy, oh my God, he was American and he was so rich. And she didn't date him very long, but he came in and he just like one day was like, let's go Alden Towers. And I'm like, oh my God, I love this guy. This guy's the best. Go for this one. And he just like took us to Alden Towers. I was like, why are you not? And then she only saw him like 3 times. And I still would like year after year mention this guy. I was like, why didn't you go out? Where's he gone? So even back then, I was like, money.
What did she say? Yeah, money is the answer.
You got to be a rich man.
That's so funny.
Yeah. There was, I'm trying to think of the other ones. There was a few who, there was a lot of just boring ones.
Right.
I think I did learn, that's definitely where I learned that being funny was good.
Okay.
Sorry. Because I watched like quite average men, like looking men, be funny. And I was like, oh, okay, they seem to be outperforming their what they deserve.
And they seem interesting.
Yeah. And my mum would always be like, oh, he really makes me laugh. And that was like the main thing. And I was like, right, okay, you got to make someone laugh. That's So let's base a whole career on that.
Okay. So what do you think is like a good green flag?
For
dating.
For either gender. Genuinely?
I guess you can go each, like maybe green flag for women. Looking for.
When I'm looking for. I think the number one thing is self-awareness. Okay. So when you're on a date and someone's just quite self-deprecating, not like loads, but they're just like aware of their own flaws, and that to me is like, okay, yeah, this person.
Oh, so you want someone who's self-deprecating because.
Yeah, not like crazy. I don't want them to be like, oh, I'm a piece of shit. I hate myself. But I just want someone to be. I just want to be really low self-esteem. No, I don't. Actually, my type is very confident. I have a joke about this, but I say like my type of women is like confident women who hate men, which is statistically true. Like every girlfriend I've had, they just get increasingly hate men more.
And you're just like, hey, sorry about it.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, I'm the exception. Look at me. So it's so pathetic. I'm basically the performative man before that was the thing. My girlfriend now, Aisling, she's like, I'd say she really hates men. Like, she regularly is just like, I don't want anything to do with men. Like, she sees me as like the exception. She's like, fine, I'll make an exception for you. I think she would rather be a lesbian. You know?
Wait, that's so good, and that's so good that you're like, yeah, you know, we do suck, because I've dated guys and they're like, I have a similar mentality with that, and they're like, they do the whole like, well, then what's wrong with us? How are we so? Then why do you talk to me? Like,
yeah, they get defensive.
They get very defensive.
No, see, I see it the other way around. I'm like, yeah, we're all idiots. Apart from, I'm like the best idiot. I'm like the one that's not quite as bad.
Okay.
So it's still ego driven. Like, I'm still being a man about it. I'm not claiming to be like this perfect. I'm not. I'm still absolute scumbag. But my favorite thing to do is like ask my girl mates about bad date stories, because it just makes me go, oh yeah, the bar is so low. Like men are so. My friend Tash the other day told me a story. She went on a Hinge date, and the guy, he just had a regular job, normal thing, and he said during the day, I want to be a stand-up comedian. And she said this happened quite a lot. This happened on dates quite a lot, where a guy said that. Yeah, and then he got out a bit of paper and started practicing a bit of material to her on the date. And I was like, oh my god, that's mad. On a first date.
Oh, that would be my biggest ick.
Yeah, awful. And like, I'm a comedian. I've been on dates and I've tried material, but you don't get out.
You do not read it from a paper.
You do it subtly. You throw it in.
You people, have you heard of the Notes app on your phone?
Yeah.
Not a piece of paper anymore.
It's absolutely mad.
Wait, that's crazy.
Just the low. It's such.
What was the bit? Did you ask me? Wait, like asking for a friend.
Was it good?
Yeah.
Yeah, she said it was so awkward. And he just read this thing out to her. Oh my god. Imagine.
I don't often meet. I mean, I don't put on my dating app that I do comedy.
Right.
I'm so scared because I feel like I just feel like I don't want the whole like
yeah.
I don't want that message of like, oh, so you do comedy then? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Nice.
I don't like talking about, even on a first date, I don't like talking about comedy, because I had this one time where he kept on asking me questions about comedy, but like doing the job is to be funny, but the actual job is not funny.
No.
So like I'm this is the same as me asking about any other job. Like you just find it more interesting than marketing.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh yeah. So I got to book the gigs and I do. You know, I don't know.
Fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no. How did you do that? How do you? It's like, oh,
I always find that people just ask, and it's not their fault, but people ask such boring questions. So it's, I was at a party the other night, and someone, I get introduced, and they're like, oh, Steve's a comedian. I was like, I guess it's the only interesting thing about me, so I get why people say that. And then he's like, oh, do you do Top Secret Comedy Club? I'm like, yeah. I do Top Secret Comedy Club. It's just like the same kind. It's like, okay, I get it, but on dates, I would mention it, because
I think it's an attractive thing for men to say, but not for women. I think I think as a female comic, I find it to be like, I'd almost rather say that I'm a pole dancer than to say
That you tell jokes.
that I tell jokes
stage.
about men. Like,
Yeah.
I
Because they get defensive and they'll be like, oh, you can talk about me?
Yeah. And I feel like I get a lot of guys who were like, even like I've had DMs from guys who are obviously fuckboys and being like, oh, don't you talk about me? And I'm like, I wouldn't. You're so boring.
Yeah, you're so dull. Yeah.
Like and also even like most of the stories are like, like I won't say your name.
Okay, this one was interesting, but I won't say it yet. My girlfriend said something really hot on our first date. She said that she had done stand-up comedy when she was a bit younger, and like done multiple gigs, and then just said, "Nah, it's not for me." And I was like, "Oh my god, that's so hot! That's so hot that you had the confidence to do it, and then had the common sense to be like, no, that's not the lifestyle I want.
I'm gonna quit."
I was like, that's perfect.
Yeah,
that's absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
And she was being so funny on the date. Like that's I guess being funny is my
being funny.
kryptonite.
I think it really does trump all. And I also like it's also like I think when you do comedy, you're like, oh yeah, like I think it's hard dating. I talk a lot about this with female comics. It's hard dating men, like normal guys, because we're around like the top. We're around really all the time the top funniest people in the world, like people who it's their income. I mean, how many people who do stand up live off stand up, and we're just constantly around them all the time. And so it's hard talking to real people.
Yeah, cause you're just like, oh, you're so boring.
Yeah, because you
don't know how to tell a story.
Exactly, but also like you know, we're around people whose job is to be witty and to really just.
And it's based on like some deep trauma somewhere. Like it's not healthy to be that funny.
Yeah, exactly. But then sometimes obviously it'll be too much. But I think when you start out, people are like trying to get the last laugh, and I think it waves out to people who just naturally like very quick. Yeah. And I think when you meet someone who's normal, like that guy I met on holiday, I was like, God, he's funny, and he's just a consultant.
Yeah, that's really.
I'm like,
he's got a stable income.
He's got a stable income, and he's witty, and he's like smart, and I'm like, wow. I'm like,
really hot.
It's so attractive.
Aisling was so funny on our first few dates. Well, she's always funny, but she was just like doing bits. Like she had bits for dates, like stories. Like she would, and I was mesmerized. I was just like, oh my god, these are great bits. Like these are so funny.
Oh my god,
just running, and I was just crying.
Do you remember any of them?
She told me one story about getting a wax. That I honestly was like crying. Like I wouldn't be able to do it justice. She's like Irish, her timing is perfect. And I was just honestly there, like, you've got to stop. I had to walk away from her because I was in so much pain from laughter. And I was like, afterwards, I was like, is that a bit you did on stage? Like, was that what and she's like, no, that just happened to me 2 weeks ago. And I was like, oh my God, I love this girl. Like, it was.
Wow.
She was being so funny. And I love that when we're together now and like in a group, she can just do the funny. Like she can just be funny. And I regularly people go, oh, yeah, who's the comedian out of you two? And at first I'd be like, oh, I'm a bit embarrassed now because I'm supposed to be the comedian. But now I'm like, yeah, it's me, but she's way funnier. Like that's so much better. Because I'm like, I don't have to prove anything. Like I am a comedian. Like I definitely am a comedian.
Yeah.
Like I can see, I've got income for it. It's there. But she can be the funny one.
That's really nice.
You know, and also she can just help me write some material sometimes.
Yeah, see, that's good to have somebody, and also it's good to be secure enough. You can be like, this is my job, but also she's really funny. Like she's really funny. And the annoying, I want to steal all her bits. You know, that's so funny.
Her persona is just so different to mine. Her persona is this sort of like angry Irish woman who hates men. That just is the opposite of me.
The Irish are so funny.
They're naturally funny.
So naturally, it's just ingrained in
we
their
went
blood.
over to Ireland together, and I was with like a bunch of her friends, and I was looking at her going, oh, you're not even the funniest in this group. Like she is funny, but like they're a funnier one. This is
wow.
This country is just operating at a level like so far above. When I hang out with Irish people, I go so quiet and feel so unfunny. It's actually damaging to my own self-esteem.
Yeah, I have that too. When I was in Belfast last, I was like, oh, I have nothing to input to this. People are just like da da da, and also half the time I'm like, what's everyone saying? But I know it's funny.
They're just also quick.
They're so quick.
I think it's just their culture, isn't it? And I remember doing a gig in Dublin Vicar Street, which is the big old venue, and us opening for my friend. And it's the most nervous I'd ever been because I was like, these people are all funnier than me. Like,
They're funny.
I want them to all listen to me for 20 minutes. This is mad. And I sort of, I remember backstage thinking, I'm English. I'm going to walk on stage and say, hello, hello. And I think so really quickly I said an Irish girlfriend. Just like threw it in. Like, I've got an Irish girlfriend. She's from this part. Just to try and get some. Please like me. Please like me.
I'm an ally.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
I didn't agree with what we did.
Having like first dates, I'm really not funny in first encounters.
Okay.
I'm really, I'd say, incredibly unfunny
because you're doing all new material,
but it's all new material. I'm just throwing it at the wall. But I find it to be like and I say things and I'm like, why the fuck did I say that? Like, and then I met this guy and then we went for brunch and he like brought up a story about how most people he's met
brunch first date.
Well, it was the day out. It was
sure.
I'll cut that out. I'm a great girl. It was, first date at brunch.
Never met him before.
First real date.
Never seen him with his clothes off.
Never. No alcohol.
Yeah.
You know, it's all.
No, I'm not judging. That's
all really, just, you know. So he brought up a story about how most of his girlfriends he's met on dating apps. He's just like, what I don't know. It was in context.
Yeah.
But then in my head, I was like, he's brought up past women. So I said this story about how I met this guy on holiday, and he was like a dream guy, and then I didn't talk to him.
Did you say dream guy?
Yeah, I was like, he was like the perfect guy. And then I didn't speak Portuguese because I met in Brazil, and I was like, I didn't speak Portuguese, and he didn't speak English, so I never got his number. And then I always thought about him forever. And then I went back to Brazil, and then I saw him on the train, and then I didn't realize. And then after I went up to him with my friend and the doors were closing. I was like, is this you? Because I had a picture with him. And he's like, that's me. And then the doors closed and then the train moved.
Oh my God.
And yeah, isn't that crazy? And I told him that. But I told this guy that story and he's like, oh, that's like a rom-com. And I'm like, yeah. So what are your interests? Like, why did I tell that story?
Yeah.
I liked the guy in front of me so much. And I'm like, let me tell you this story about this random hot Brazilian man I met.
That I still think about now.
Yeah. So what did you say you do for work? I'm like, why would I do that?
Where are you from? Romford. Okay, it's not as good as... I had a story that I thought was good on first dates, and now looking back on it, maybe it wasn't. Because I thought it was like self-deprecating. What happened was I was working on a show, and a girl had, unbeknownst to me, had a crush on me, right? I didn't know this.
Okay.
Right? By the way, that is the best thing that could ever happen to anyone. Someone having a crush on you is, I think, better than even going out with someone. You know, like that's, finding out someone fancies you is, I think, better than any other thing in the world.
I totally agree. I love when I think that somebody likes me, but only a friend has told me. Yeah. I don't like when they tell me.
No, because then it's like serious.
If someone's like, oh, they like you, I'm like, no way. No, are you kidding me? Let's keep it like this. Let's keep that. I like that tension.
And I've talked about this with my girlfriend. Like, being fancied is the best feeling in the world. Like, I think it's quite healthy to want that.
Yeah,
you know,
totally.
Obviously, you don't act it, but it's just like it's nice for someone to be like.
It's totally nice.
You know, it's actually better than this. Is what I learned when I was single, actually, because I used to glamorize the single life in like past relationships, and then I realized like, oh no, actually, the best bit is knowing someone fancies you. Anything after that is tricky, stressful, emotionally taxing. Whereas just knowing that someone fancies you is like, yeah, that's what I need.
Totally, I love that.
Done.
I love that. I think that'll get me through the year, actually.
Just one of those.
If someone comes up to me and someone's like, that guy said he really liked you, I'm like, that guy? Cool. And then I'll be like,
that will do me till November.
Yeah. Oh, okay, that'll get me through the winter. Okay. And then I'll go and tell people like, hey, he like He liked me.
He liked me.
Oh, what happened? No, that's it. That's the story. That's totally the story.
There's no need for any detail.
Yeah.
So I had the story where, so she crushed me or whatever. She must have told her colleagues, and they would tease her, and we were working together for a few weeks, and we did go on. And at the end of the shoot, they got her a key ring with my face on it, right, as a joke.
Okay.
To like, tease her. Right? I didn't know any of this, right? And then we, like, months later, we met up and did go on a date.
Okay.
Right? And she told me this story.
Yeah.
And then she showed me the key ring with my face on it. And I was like, well, this is and I was recently single as well, so I was quite low on confidence. And I was like, well, this is the best thing could ever happen to me.
Yeah.
Like, this is incredible. A girl has a key ring with my face on it, and now we're on a date. This is brilliant. And I was like, this is what my dating life's going to be like from now on. I've been completely underselling myself. And then, so we went on a date. It went, I thought, well. And then we went on a second date. And she got back with her ex-boyfriend between those two dates. And I was like, that has gone so badly for me. Like, I've gone from being her, like, crush, her, like, keyring crush, to her, she went, be careful what you wish for, because that was awful.
My God.
I'm going to go back to the guy who broke my heart. Like, that guy was so bad. I thought I got my hopes up here. I got a keyring with his face on it. I actually got to go on a date with him, and then he was a huge disappointment.
That's
and
so funny.
Honestly, well, I thought it was a second date. Obviously, it wasn't a second date because we were having pizza, and she was just like, "Oh yeah, I should say I got back with my ex-boyfriend last weekend." And I was like, "What about the keyring?"
Here's the key ring.
Have you still got the key ring? And she's like, I've got rid of the key ring.
Wait, did you used to tell that date on first?
So I would tell that story. The actual truth is, she told me that on over pizza. I was very fresh out of a breakup, and I cried on that date. I was
wow.
over pizza. I was just like, this is too much. I can't deal with it. I can't, like, wait. I was an absolute mess, and in hindsight, I wasn't emotionally ready to be dating. But I would tell a sort of a doctored version of that story on dates, which basically was like, someone had a crush on me, and then she rejected me. Because I was like, I was self-deprecating, but it also implicitly says
like,
someone
liked me. Yeah.
Exactly. And now looking back, I'm like, that's a mad story to tell.
Yeah.
Anybody, because it just looks arrogant at best.
Yes.
And it like even the ending is like, self-deprecating, but it's not really. Like, it's a bit weird.
Yeah, I it's so funny. We come up with these stories. We're like, this shows me in a really good light, and then you're like, after like, why did I say that?
That's the worst version of it. I basically told someone I love being fancied and I'm really shallow and pathetic. Yeah. Although I once did tell that story on a date, and then the girl, like, later on got a keyring on my face on it as a joke. I was like, that's funny.
That's funny.
That's a funny callback.
That's very funny.
I respect that.
What do you think is the biggest red flag for dating?
Someone, I know we sort of touched on it, but someone who can't tell a story.
Okay.
Because, like, on a first date, I'm talking.
Okay.
On a first date, and someone tells a really boring story, like, with no punchlines or no, like, real meaning to it.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's your best stuff. You know, like, that's your first date material.
Okay.
If you are dying on your ass on a first date, then it's only going to go downhill, isn't it?
So have prepared stories. So have a set list.
We've all got bits.
Yeah.
Like, I know, like, not everyone thinks them as bits, but we've all got our funny stories that we tell on dates.
Okay, I don't have enough of these. Maybe I should, like, have a little...
But we all have, like, our little funny thing our family did, and, like, we all have those stories.
Yeah.
We know are, like, quite good stories.
Okay.
And, well, maybe they don't. Maybe I'm weird. But I just think when someone is, like, doing their best material on the first date,
okay,
and they're being really dull, I'm like, well, this doesn't bode well, does it? Like,
right.
Obviously, that's because I value funny, though.
Yeah,
you know,
okay.
I appreciate most people don't care about that. Like,
I think it's a high priority for a lot of people.
Yeah, maybe more for women. I think women do correctly want someone to be funny. Whereas I think men, maybe we're just like, I don't know what we think. I don't know what men think, but I don't think they necessarily see funny as that important.
And I think it's always a good sign when a guy sees funny as important, because I feel like that means maybe they want something more serious.
Yeah.
Because then they're looking for more personality traits.
So you're just, like, in theory, you have to spend so much time with this person.
Yeah.
The rest of your life, maybe.
Yeah.
So you've got, the least you can do is they can tell a story.
Yeah. Funny is quite important.
It's really important.
Yeah.
I think. Like, they don't have to be like stand up funny, but just be able to
Just
keep it
like,
tight.
and also like when you have somebody whose humor, because like sometimes like I'm not someone who needs to be the funniest person in the room.
No.
And like I think also sometimes like my humor it'll be missed by like most people. And like sometimes I'm not great, and I'm not somebody who can go into like every room and be like, "Hey guys, I'm funny." Like I'd actually prefer not to tell anyone that.
Yeah. Yeah, they need to work it out.
Yeah.
Show, don't tell.
Yeah. But I think that that when someone gets my humor like from early on, I'm like, wow, that's quite attractive.
Yeah.
Like when because I'll do things for me a lot in a group setting. I'll like say like words under my breath, and then if somebody gets it, then I'll be like,
oh, you're the one.
they've listened to me.
Yeah, that's nice.
They heard me.
Also, I do think some people just make you feel funnier.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's a really good attribute.
Because it makes you feel comfortable, and it makes you
and it just makes you feel good. And like ultimately, that's all we're looking for, right? We're looking for someone who makes us feel good.
Yeah.
Obviously, we want kindness and we want all these other attributes, but really, we just want someone that makes us feel better.
Yeah.
About us, and hopefully, we do it for them as well.
And I think that's what's scary about dating, because I feel like I've dated a lot of guys who make me feel bad, and I'm like,
that's a red flag.
That's a big red flag. Okay, now why do you think I've never had a boyfriend?
I mean, surely it's choice.
Okay. Like,
surely you must have had multiple opportunities to have a boyfriend.
Not really. Not really. I've never dated like the guys that I've dated that have been like important. It's all ended because they haven't wanted anything.
Yeah.
It's like I've never broken up with or like I've never like ended something with somebody that I really liked.
Okay. Yeah.
The only time I've ever said like no more, it's when we weren't even like,
they were like, we just met.
I was like,
I just served you coffee.
Like, I don't like this.
I mean, maybe you need to reframe it. Like, why would you want a boyfriend? You know, like famously, I read that Vogue article. Was it Vogue? That article about boyfriends aren't fashionable anymore.
Yeah, having a boyfriend is embarrassing.
Yeah, like maybe you need to rethink it. Be like, why would I ever want a boyfriend? You know?
Okay, that's very good.
Because actually, and like, we are rubbish. And I include myself in that. Like, I think my girlfriend would be happier without me. Like, I'm not going to tell her that directly. Yeah. But, and you know that stat, that thing about like the happiest people in society are unmarried women in their 30s. You know, it's like, and then the happiest men are happier when they're married.
Yeah.
Women are happier when they're not. So basically, we're dragging them down. My girlfriend has told me that in the past. I'm like, yeah, I agree. Like, I think you would be better off without me.
That's so interesting. That's a nice way to like reframe it. Although it's hard though, because it's like you want what you don't have. You know, I feel like the grass is always greener. I think
grass is greener.
When you it's all good and fun to say having a boyfriend is embarrassing, but like when I don't know if it is, because I only know not having one.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice to be like have that and be like, yeah, that was embarrassing. Yeah, God, that was.
Because at the moment you're like, oh, I just want to be embarrassed. Please, someone embarrass me.
That's so funny.
Yeah, it's tough. I think ultimately it's not gonna solve all your problems anyway.
You're right. And I do think I put a lot of pressure on it socially.
It's a bonus. I see it as it's a bonus. It's nice to have someone to spend your life with, I guess. And like, it's a teammate, innit? It is nice to have a teammate.
I think that's what I want. I want someone who someone who you can be with together and have like a life with, and someone you can.
Yeah. The best thing I think about it is when someone happens to you that day, you immediately go, I can tell. I can tell my girlfriend that. Like, that's the whole thing. It's like, oh, that's a funny story, or like this terrible thing happened. I can tell. Like, that's the best bit about having a partner. But I do strongly believe, and I've learned this over. Like, I definitely think when I was younger, I put too much weight on a relationship, and it was like my everything. Yeah, and then it all fell apart, and I was crushed. And I definitely learned from that. Oh, you need to build up the other bits in life. Like, you need to have your friends. You need to have loads of friends.
Yeah.
Well, good friends. And you need to like nurture your family, and they need to be like separate from your relationships, I think. Because I think like when it's all intertwined, not that you're like preparing for the worst and you're just waiting to get dumped and then you're making a nice safety net for yourself. It's
Yeah.
just that if you have all those other things, then that doesn't matter quite as much.
Right.
You know, you're not putting as much pressure on the relationship, and it's just like another string to your like life.
Yeah.
I think that I've learned, that's the best thing I've learned, I think.
That's
From
beautiful.
from heartbreak, I think. Yeah, I put less. I get, maybe it's also sort of independence. Maybe I'm like a bit too independent. I'm scared of relying on someone, but
But it's nice. I think having that balance it does make maybe going through a breakup easier, because you're like, okay, I have a support system. And I think a lot of people don't have that support system.
Totally. And it's not even like you're preparing for a breakup. It's just like knowing that you're going to be all right either way.
Yeah.
Is good for the relationship in itself.
Okay.
It makes it last better. It's like easier because you're like not,
Yeah.
the energy going to a relationship of like, oh my God, I need this to work.
Yeah.
I am going to be a mess if this falls apart, is like such a bad energy to bring to a relationship. And I've definitely brought that energy before. That knowing that you've got other things in your life that matter takes that pressure on, and actually makes a relationship healthier, I think.
Okay.
I mean, look, if I get dumped between now and this coming out, it's going to be so embarrassing. If I watch this back going, oh yeah, I've got loads of friends, but I'm single, I'm a loser.
It won't happen. Steve, this has been so fun. Thank you so much for
having
doing
me very
this.
much, Katie.
Where can people find you?
I will be in Uber pools, just waiting. I'm on social media. Come find me. My name's Steve Bugeja. Bugeja is how you spell it.
Got it.
It's a nightmare of a surname. But if you put Steve B-U-G into Instagram, it comes up.
Perfect. I'll put all your stuff in the
Please do. And I have got a stand-up special coming out next year, which is taking me so long to edit. Well, my editor's taking a long time to edit, and it's said on my profile that I've got a special coming out for a year.
Oh wow,
that's insane, isn't it?
Wow.
Yeah, and it says it said special coming out soon, and that's just a lie at this point. But it is coming out, and I've watched it the other day. It's very good. So
oh, fantastic! It'll come out in January,
I think. So yeah, go watch that, please. It's called Shining. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for this. I'm excited. This is great. This is great advice.
Cheers.
Okay.
It was quite sincere at the end, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was beautiful.
I didn't mean to be that sincere.
No, I love the sincerity. I think that's we need that, because it's also, you've prepared me for ultimately my first breakup.
That's the good point. Never had a boyfriend, also never had a breakup.
Yeah.
That's the spin-off podcast.
Yeah, because Red Richardson asked me, he's like, your podcasting is so successful that you're gonna not be able to have a boyfriend ever.
Yeah, because you need to be single.
Because I need to be single, and I'm like, thanks, Red. No, it's at this point I could have a boyfriend. Just letting everyone know.
I would ditch the podcast immediately.
Yeah, no matter what, I'd quit comedy.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here.